Have you ever been in a situation where you felt forced to say you were sorry when you actually weren't? Maybe it was to a boss to keep the peace, or to a partner, or to a family member just to end an exhausting argument. You said the words, you said, "I'm sorry," but what was happening inside you? Were you feeling genuine remorse? Were you thinking about how much you hurt them? Probably not. You were probably feeling misunderstood. You were likely feeling resentful, and mostly you just wanted to escape the situation. Now, hold on to that feeling, that mix of resentment and performance, because that is exactly what we create in our children when we force them to apologize. And today, we are going to talk about why demanding those two magic words might actually be the biggest roadblock to raising a kind, empathetic human being. We have to talk about the playground. We have all been there. It's a beautiful Saturday morning. You are finally relaxing, maybe holding a lukewarm coffee, chatting with another parent. The sun is shining, and then the scream happens. It cuts right through the air. You snap your head around, and there is your child. Maybe they are holding a shovel that isn't theirs. Maybe they just pushed someone to get to the slide. Standing next to them is another child, crying. And then it happens. The silence. Every other parent at the park turns to look. The pressure hits you like a physical weight. Your cheeks get hot, your heart starts hammering. All those eyes are asking one question. What are you going to do about this? So, you rush over. You grab your child by the arm, and you say the only thing that feels like it will fix the problem fast. Say you're sorry. Your child looks down. They kick the dirt, they cross their arms, they refuse. So, you lean in closer. You add the threat. Say you're sorry right now, or we are leaving this park. Finally, they mumble it. A grumpy, flat sorry. You breathe a huge sigh of relief. You give the other parent an apologetic smile that says, "See, I'm handling it. I'm a good parent." The tension breaks, and everyone goes back to playing. It feels like a win. It feels like you taught a lesson. But here's the uncomfortable truth we need to face today. That moment wasn't about your child's empathy. It was about your embarrassment. We force apologies because they are a quick fix. They smooth over the social awkwardness. They signal to the world that we are in control and that we don't raise bad kids. It creates a nice, clean ending to a messy situation. But let's pause and look at what is actually happening inside your child's brain during that standoff. When a child hits or grabs, they are usually in a state of high emotion. Their brain has been hijacked by an impulse. When we swoop in and demand a performance, their focus doesn't go to the child they hurt. It goes straight to you. It goes to the threat of punishment. They aren't thinking, "Oh no, I made my friend sad." They're thinking, "How do I get my mom to stop looking at me like that?" They learn a very powerful but dangerous lesson. Sorry is a get-out-of-jail-free card. They realize that if they just make the right sound with their mouth, the lecture stops, the parents calm down, they get to go back to playing. It becomes a transaction. They trade a word for their freedom. We aren't teaching them to be kind friends. We're teaching them to be good actors. We're training them to parrot the words we want to hear without feeling the meaning behind them. Think about the long-term impact of that. If we teach children that it's okay to say things they don't mean just to smooth things over, we're actually training them to be dishonest. We're teaching them that appearance matters more than truth. And here's the kicker. You might think, well, at least the victim feels better, but research suggests that isn't true. Even young children have excellent radar for fake emotions. They know when an apology is forced. When a child is forced to mumble a sorry while glaring at their shoes, the victim doesn't feel better. They often feel worse. They feel the hostility. It can actually make the other children like your child less than if they hadn't apologized at all. So if forced apologies don't work, why is it so hard for kids to just be empathetic? Why can't they just see that they hurt someone? We have to adjust our expectations. True empathy, the ability to step outside yourself and feel what someone else is feeling, is an incredibly complex skill. It's not something we're born with, it's something we build, brick by brick, over years. For toddlers and preschoolers, their brains are literally still under construction. They don't yet have what psychologists call theory of mind. That's the understanding that other people have thoughts and feelings that are different from their own. Asking a 3-year-old to fully grasp the emotional weight of an apology is like asking them to read a novel before they know the alphabet. They might be able to memorize the words, but they cannot understand the story. Even for older kids, you have to remember, impulse comes first, reflection comes second. In the heat of the moment, your child is dysregulated. They're in fight or flight mode. They cannot access the part of their brain needed for remorse because they're too busy feeling defensive. They need to cool down before they can even begin to care. So what's the alternative? If we stop forcing the sorry, do we just let them get away with it? Absolutely not. We're actually going to aim for something much higher than obedience. We're going to aim for connection. We want to move from compliance, doing what you're told, to connection. Here's a roadmap for what to do next time you're in that playground standoff. First, take a deep breath. Ignore the other parents. This moment is about your child, not your audience. Step 1 is a shift in focus. Instead of marching over to your child and lecturing them, turn your attention immediately to the victim. Go to the child who was hurt. You can say to them, "I'm so sorry you got hurt. That must have been scary. Are you okay?" This does 2 powerful things instantly. First, it shows your child that the most important thing right now is the other person's feelings, not the rule that was broken. Second, it models a real apology. Your child watches you being kind. They see what sincere empathy looks like without you having to say a word to them. Once the dust has settled and everyone is a bit calmer, step 2 is building awareness. Don't demand words. Ask questions. You can say gently, "Look at Sam's face. He looks really sad. Why do you think he looks like that?" You're not shaming them. You're not yelling. You're acting as a narrator. You're helping them connect the dots between their action, the push, and the result, the tears. You're helping them step out of their own head and into someone else's. That's where the seed of empathy is planted. Step 3 is the repair. This is the game changer. We want to teach kids that saying sorry is fine, but doing something to help is better. Ask your child, what can we do to help them feel better? For a young child, this is where the magic happens. An apology of action is so much more meaningful to them than words. Maybe it means running to get an ice pack. Maybe it means helping to rebuild the block tower they knocked over. Maybe it's offering a tissue. This empowers your child. Instead of being the bad kid who is in trouble, they become the helper who fixes the problem. They learn that while we all make mistakes, we have the power to make things right. Now, I know some of you are thinking, well, what if they refuse? What if they won't get the ice pack? What if they just stand there? It's okay to wait. You can say, calmly and firmly, "I can see you aren't ready to help yet. We will sit here and wait until you are ready." This removes the power struggle. You're not forcing their body, you're giving them the time and space to process their own guilt. Real remorse takes time to bubble up, and when they finally do decide to help or say sorry, you'll know it came from them, and more importantly, they will know it came from them. I want to address the fear that comes up when we talk about this. I know it's there. You might be worried, if I don't make them say sorry, won't they become rude? Won't they think they can walk all over people? Forcing a child to say sorry is actually the easy way out. It's a shortcut. It lets them off the hook with a single word. What we are proposing, guiding them to look at the pain they caused, asking them to sit with that discomfort and requiring them to take action to fix it, that is hard work. That is true accountability. You aren't raising a spoiled child, you are raising a responsible one. You're teaching them that relationships matter more than rituals. You're teaching them that we don't just say words to make problems disappear, we do the work to repair the bond. And if you are worried about the other parents watching, narrate it. Say it out loud so they can hear. It looks like we aren't ready to use kind words yet, so we are going to take a break and come back when we can help fix this. That signals to the room that you are handling it, but you are handling it on your terms, prioritizing your child's long-term growth over a public performance. There is one final piece to this, and it might be the most important one. It is about how we apologize. Our children are watching us like hawks. They download our software. If we want them to learn how to apologize sincerely, they need to see us doing it. When you lose your temper, because we all do, and you yell or snap, do you go back and repair? Do you say, "I am sorry I yelled. I was frustrated, but it wasn't okay for me to speak to you that way"? When we own our mistakes without making excuses, we show them that apologizing isn't about shame. It isn't about losing status. It is about being strong enough to reconnect. We are trying to raise children who don't just say, "I'm sorry," to escape a lecture. We want to raise children who say it because they feel a tug in their chest when they have hurt someone. We want adults who check in on their friends, who offer to help fix the mess, and who know that their actions have an impact. So, the next time the pressure mounts at the playground, try to hit the pause button. Take a deep breath. Look at the child who was hurt. Ask, "Are you okay?" Guide your child toward fixing the problem, not just saying the words. It takes more patience. It is definitely harder than the quick fix, but the reward is a child who understands that their choices matter, and who learns that while we all make mistakes, we also have the power to make things better. And that is a lesson that will last a lifetime.